Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful to wake up with your smiling faces today. I'm assuming you're smiling. I can't see you, but I can see my adorable co host, Izzy. Good morning to you, friend.
Good morning to you too, Phil. How are you doing?
I'm excellent, honey. It is not even morning for me. It's afternoon. I've already had a glass of wine. It was delicious. Don't tell anyone, except I just told everyone. But I have an excuse. It's not breakfast wine, Izzy. It's the fact that I'm in Budapest, um, Hungary. Very excited. Day number one. But of course, and it's by the way, the sun is shining. It's going to be a beautiful day. But nothing matters more than what we're going to do together over the next hour. You and I are tackling a brand new topic, poster design. If we share my screen, I'm going to give people a little preview of our remixable template. That link is going to go in the description. But Izzy, walk us through what we're tackling today, what we're going to battle it out.
Yes. So here is the remixable template that you can use. Actually, we're going to take a very different approach today. We're going to use the
We are.
Logo Maker AI, which we're not necessarily going to have a logo in our posters, but we will use as inspiration, which is, I think, a little different than most of you probably are designing posters. And this is why we love Adobe Express. And we're also going to search some awesome assets within the library that is available to you in Express.
Beautiful. Thank you for that little tee up. Friends, this is well worth the few minutes it takes to experiment with this. I have so much fun teaching and sharing this. It used to be a separate website altogether. Now the Logo Maker, which is still in beta, is integrated in Express as a quick action. So you're seeing on screen where to go to get this. Here I am on the dashboard. I'll click that beautiful plus sign up in the top left. Filter here by quick actions. And by the way, if you've not spent time in here, highly recommend you get reacquainted with all the things that you can do in Express as a quick action. Izzy, I bet you agree with me that I find myself opening Express for all different kinds of things I might have opened other tools for. Obviously, I still go to Acrobat for stuff that's more intense with PDFs, but here I can combine files, organize pages, crop images, convert image file types. I used to open Photoshop for those. I still do sometimes, but a lot of instances I can do so much with a quick action in Express, in the browser, or in the app. Are you the same as me?
Oh my goodness, yes. And it's crazy how, to be honest, I never thought that I would use Express so much, but because it is so versatile and it can literally do everything that you need, I'm in it every day. And it just has optimized my workflow like crazy.
That is music to my ears because I think for the earlier days of Express, it was a harder sell to a creative professional. Like, why would you even hop into Express if you're already comfortable in so many other apps like Photoshop and Illustrator that we still use and love every day? But Express is really interesting and it's very exciting, particularly for people that are obviously not professionals, but people that are also professionals to be
Mhm.
able to totally integrate this into your workflow. So without further ado, we're going to show you the Logo Maker, which is now fully integrated into Express. As Izzy said, this is going to kickstart our poster project. Izzy, what is the name? Or should we ask the chat? Should we ask the chat? Should we ask them for a name? Or do you want to give us a name for the event? You get to decide.
I mean, it's pretty early for the chat. So let's see if they are awake and what they can come up with.
Great.
We have some categories just to like give you a little bit of, structure. So we have festival. It could be any festival that you want. It could be a public speaking event, or because it is barbecue season, backyard party. So give us a name within those realms. And I'd say the first one that pops up will be the one that we will be doing a poster.
I love it. I love it. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat here. I've got this on my second screen, a little travel monitor. I want to say hello to Keys. I want to say hello to Susan and to Frank. We got the whole crew here today. On screen, you're looking at my screen, you're going to see the categories that exist in the Logo Maker as well. This is to just provide a rough parameter as the AI works its magic to help you choose or at least create a starting point for your logo. So that's me buying some time here to get a name from the chat.
Oh, we have
Um,
backyard party from Keys.
I
I'm in a
love it.
backyard party mode from Frank. So perfect. So let's hear. How about it's gonna be
What
good
about what about a
vibes.
backyard? I was going to say a backyard pool party. What about something like that? That would be some
Ooh,
fun design elements.
yes. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So in this case, I might choose probably other in this case. I'm not sure that any of these categories are going to lend themselves to an event per se. That's totally okay. You'll see this take form here in a moment. Again, when you're using Logo Maker, it's important to remember that this is really designed to give you a starting point, right? This is designed to get you going. It makes it really easy to toggle through a lot of different styles initially, but we're going to be able to hop into Express to further customize this. And then Izzy, you're going to get us going to turn this into an actual event. How cool that a logo can inspire a poster design.
I know, right?
Wow, what style do you feel like today, Izzy? It's morning for you up in Canada. Are you feeling
Yes, it
minimal,
is.
bold, elegant, or organic, my friend?
Mm, I'm bold because I
I
would
I was
like my,
hoping you were going to choose that.
yes.
I was hoping we were going to go for a bold backyard pool party. That's a vibe, friends. That's a vibe. So we're moving on to step 3. Step 1 was provide a little bit of information on your business. Step 2 was choose a style, one of the 4 that they help provide to kind of create these stylistic parameters. Step number 3 is third or fourth step. So this is when we're going to choose an icon. And Izzy, you can tell me if there's something here. Maybe we start with a keyword, maybe like a
Hmm.
pool. I'm just gonna type in pool, see what we get. Sometimes I'll start to just add keywords. Pool floaty. Yep, or a
Yes,
donut, I guess.
floaty.
What do you like? What do you like so far?
A floaty. Oh, that balloon is fun.
This one?
Hmm. Yes, let's see what
I
we can
like it
do.
too.
Yes.
Okay. I love this first logo. You tell me if there's any others that pop out to you. This is the 4th step, which is choosing just a logo concept to get you started. This is also nice. I love flat little design like that.
You know
All
what?
that
I trust
jazz.
your
What do you
gut.
like?
I trust you on this one. You pick.
So I'm going to go with this one. This
Love it.
feels the most, I mean, that's actually really cute. That's really cute. I didn't even adjust any of the elements here. I'm going to download this for safeties. Um, I'm going to point out how you could further customize this. I'm actually really happy with this. It's as if it was listening to us. Maybe I would slightly adjust the size of this to keep it a little more balanced, but I might do something like that. I know that in Express, we can further customize this, but friends, I just want to show you for the purpose of showing you how to get started with an idea. Is this not incredible? So many people out there are thinking, how can I create proof of concept? Not necessarily a logo for your business, or maybe it is a logo for your business. Maybe it's a project. In this case, it's an event. This is an amazing way to get some design parameters to inspire something like a poster. Izzy, you get the shout out for this because this was actually your idea. You're like, why don't we start from a logo? And I think this was one of your greatest ideas yet. I'm going to go
Oh,
ahead and paste this into, you have a lot of good ideas. You know
thank
it.
you.
I'm going to paste this into the template that you and I are working from today.
Perfect.
And
Well, maybe if I can comment quickly, like I personally like to break the design process just to see what can come out of it because it's good to have a process that you can always depend on. But sometimes just to get outside of my comfort zone and maybe having new ideas, I like to break my process with different ways of working. And this has proven to work really well for me whenever it comes to my designs for my clients and so on, even concepts for content creation for Adobe Live. And then I can share this process and hopefully inspire people back like you and I today. I know we're supposed to be collaborating, but we love each other too much. What can we say?
every show, I think, Izzy, and also note to Andrew, who's our wonderful producer today, we're going to switch over to your screen, I
Mhm.
believe, for this next leg to get us started with designing. But Izzy, you and I, we've ended up so soft. We
I
started out so
know.
fierce at the beginning of Collabattle. We were ready to battle. And I feel like there are days like today where we just decide from the beginning that we're just going to be mushy and friendly. That's us today.
Exactly.
We just got to
Exactly.
own it.
Exactly. Well, there you go. So, speaking of design process, something that we wanted to also talk to you about is inspiration literally comes from everywhere. And Personally, this is very true for me. I was sharing this with Phil earlier that I take pictures everywhere I go. It could be even to the grocery store, museums, or whatsoever. And I just keep them in my phone. And we kind of made like a very chaotic, not necessarily mood board, but just kind of to show you the types of pictures that I gather into the wild, if you want. And sometimes I like to go back to those images again to find inspiration. And it doesn't matter if it's like sticker design or packaging, because it's all some things that I can then take, maybe the color palette, the font idea, and bring it to a poster design, branding identity, and whatever. So Phil, I mean, we're getting mushy for real here, because I did put the packaging design of the chocolate bar that started it all.
That's
Our
so good. That was our
it's
very
right
first
here.
show.
Yes, this one right here. And basically here, I have a few posters. It's again, all over the map, but here we're just maybe looking at hierarchy, which is very important. Hierarchy will determine if this is a good poster or not. It's the same principle for a postcard if you're advertising something, as we're seeing here with the Whitney Biennale, which this branding is amazing. And here we have some images. Maybe, can I do this? Perfect. This is when I was in New York not too long ago. I actually visited a exhibition of posters, and it was like the history of New York posters and the style and designs, which was just crazy. I mean, I shed tears. I'm not kidding, because it was so pretty. I love design so much. That's tell you how geeky I am.
Well, no, you're in the right industry. I feel the same way.
Perfect.
I'm not necessarily brought to tears. However, I think I react in similarly emotional ways. I get really excited. I was just earlier walking around the streets here for the first day, snapping photos of signage.
Mhm.
Maybe, Izzy, we do another collab battle about exterior signage. I have so much
Ooh,
inspiration from that today.
I love this.
Europe is like, it's like just such a rich source of great design inspiration. You get a flavor of this in Ottawa and in Montreal. Those are the most stylish places, I think, in Canada. But so cool that this is your way of kind of cataloging that
Mhm.
inspiration and then referring back to it when you're actually designing.
Absolutely. So we're going to use this. Maybe we'll go back for some color inspiration, type inspiration, but now let's actually design our poster. So the first thing here, I mean, it's not the right size. So I will resize the poster to 11 by 17, which is just a regular poster size. I'm changing this to inches, and I'm going to do 11.125. So there is a bleed. Let's say I did want to send this, download it as a PDF, and then send it to print. Even though I don't have my bleed mark, my crop marks, the printer will be able to adjust the bleed on it, like at the shop, for you to have decent looking posters. We don't
Can
want
I
any
also
white.
call
Yes.
something out, Izzy? Because
Yes.
this is, I believe, a presentation template we're working on today, which actually doesn't matter. It's still going to do the
Yes.
job. But if you click up there to margins, we now in Express, this is very, very new. We can actually
Ooh.
turn, I know, we can turn margins on. I may have forgotten to call this out to you on our last show, but it's literally, this feature is 2 weeks old. And so that's why I'm calling out, because now we got it in Express.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is very exciting. I did not know. Thank you. See, this is why I love this show so much,
It's why
because
you keep me around. I'm the
yes,
nerd that knows all the
exactly.
new things in Express. I keep track of them because I also get really excited about them. And this is one that we have wanted for a long time. And thank you, Adobe Express team, for listening to us. Now we get bleed and margin in the platform. It's perfect.
Absolutely. So perfect. So we said that hierarchy was very important. So if backyard pool party is our title, I'd say let's just crank it up and make it loud and bold. Bring it at the top right here. We might change the font with this, but let's trust the process right here.
We're
I
going to trust the
think,
process. And that's so a part of just the process in Express is that you can play around and you can try things. And that is probably not going to be what you end up with, right? But the
Absolutely.
whole point is this is enabling, it's a tool that's giving us the ability to play and tweak with it until we land on something that we're excited about. And I, for the record, I'm already excited about what you're creating.
Perfect. So sometimes I like to add just like a different background color just so it gives me like that poster vibe. And obviously went with blue because trying to recreate that water that you see like in a pool. And I do feel that we need some texture, maybe some mesh gradient. So I'm gonna go into media photos and I'm going to type mesh gradient. There you go. And we have some very amazing options here. Ooh, I like this. I mean, this is the one that I use for the remixable template. How about I use this and then we have a little effect to change the color and make it more pool water like.
I love where you're going with this.
I'm gonna bring this to the back. Don't worry. Like so. And then go to effects. There you go. Ooh, no, this is a little too like muddy
That
waters.
pool
We don't
water
want
has
that.
too much chlorine.
Exactly. Or maybe too many kids went there before.
Yes. Oh gosh. It's not a
Oh,
pool I want to go
oh
to.
goodness, exactly. That was uncensored. Sorry, everyone. All right, let's just make this white so we can see what we are working with. And I love that there's already, if I like zoom in, there's already a texture here, which
Yeah.
I very much like, but I want to add more. And this is something that I was very happy when I was just trying new stuff in Express, was that you can go to media and say noise texture, and you will have some texture, a lot of textures right here. So let me bring one in again. Oops.
I'm glad you're talking through this because I think not every Express user they know what's here, but they don't necessarily know how to use it or how to apply effects to these textures to be able to incorporate them into their design. So I'm glad that you are talking us through how you do this because I think there's a lot here for people to learn.
Absolutely. And textures is something that if you've been on TikTok, Reels, on Instagram, and Pinterest, Behance, texture is everything right now. Halftones is like taking over. Maybe this because it's what I research, but it's all over my feed. So it's really fun just to layer stuff and then create something new that does not exist. And it also gives that like not the words that come up is worn out. It's not worn out, but like used, which I
Mm,
know there's like a big vintage trend too happening right now. So it's fun.
there is. There is.
So
I'm noticing that a ton. So what are you doing here? You're bringing down the opacity on
the
this beautiful
opacity,
texture. Yep.
correct. And it like I still want to see the beautiful blues that we have selected from before and made the effect on. So here I'm bringing the opacity very low, but as you can see, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. Let me do that again. There you go. We can still see the texture here in the corners of the noise texture that we have just added. That is right here. I'm actually going to lock this so that way I don't move them around when I'm trying to grab other elements on the poster.
Look at you whizzing around and Express like such a pro. She says, I'm going to lock this layer. Ah, I'm just so proud, Izzy. You are, Izzy. I said it earlier in the show, and I'm going to say it again, but you're the perfect example of a creative pro that has incorporated Express into their workflow. This doesn't mean you're not using Illustrator and Photoshop every single day for your projects, but you're using Express in addition to the projects you're creating, and it's bringing me joy. I'm very proud.
Well, I'm very happy. Actually, the way that I'm using it right now is exactly how I would use and even build a poster in Illustrator, which is
Mm.
super fun. So here I have a CTA.
While you're copying and pasting that over, I have to give a warm shout out to our very lively chat today over on Behance. Friends, we see you and we appreciate you. I gave you the warm welcome to our pool party that is in motion. We have Barbara. Barbara says, hi, Keys. We can always count on you, Frank. Jeff, hello, hello. Susan is here, Jeff, and who else do we have? Oh, Barbara says, my maternal grandparents are from Budapest area. And I had a few people tell me to try these, what is it called? Langos to eat. Keys, you mentioned this. Langos. I've seen this a few times today. You guys, I'm on day 1 in Budapest, so I don't even know anything other than I went on this beautiful walk earlier today. The architecture is amazing. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Okay, it's definitely the #1 thing to buy in Hungary. I've also seen a lot of paprika. I didn't know that was a thing here, paprika.
Oh.
This is looking good, looking good, looking good. So you went with an italics font. Talk us through that bold choice.
I mean, again, this is like very much a trend things, but I'm seeing a lot of mix between italics and regular fonts right now.
Me too.
And I will actually do this. I think Epic Evening should stay italicized and this will become just regular. It is bold. Like so, actually. I feel like this should be not bold italic, but just regular italic. Trust the process. Maybe a semi-bold.
We're still talking about Langos in the chat. And so I actually went to Adobe Stock on my screen. You won't see it. And type this in as a keyword. And I now see it's like some kind of, it's almost like a pizza thing or like a fried dough with some yummy something on top of it. I'll have a better answer by the time we speak next, because again, day 1, but this is looking good.
Thank
you. I love to eat.
Oh, me too.
This is looking good. This is looking good. I've also seen, Izzy, more recently where people are actually using italics as a body font. That is a very bold choice in 2024.
Very. But I mean, if the vibes are there, why not? And I find that now there's a lot of fonts that you can find that has a massive font family that you can just like play it up with, and it does changes the meaning. Like to me, italic sings. This is a very much like personal thing to say, like how I'm reading font, but to me, italic sings. Like I'm seeing here, like, you know, Epic Evening, like it's like organic and, you know, fun. We're gonna be dancing. So let me know in the chat if you feel the same, or if you have moods about fonts like I do.
I do. I think a font totally impacts the way that I interpret the text, which makes sense. It's called design. But like even setting something into italics as a common body font choice is really interesting. Oh, this is starting to look more Izzy. Starting to look more Izzy.
Actually, I do want this to be all caps.
The chat knows what I'm talking about when I say this is starting to look more Izzy. They know.
Izzy does have a thing for crazy fonts, right?
Look how beautiful that K is in backyard. I am obsessed with the K.
Maybe we can actually, let's see if we can maybe, or actually, my bad. Let me undo this. Maybe back and then yard. It's one word, but we can split it into 2. Maybe we can have fun with that. Like that.
I love it.
Cool.
Keeping an eye on the chat. We see Cody Bear on YouTube. We see a whole bunch of people we got on Behance. You guys, this is Collabattle, but if you have any suggestions or things you want us to try in this poster design, which we are doing today entirely in Adobe Express, occasionally we'll bring layers and assets that we create in Photoshop or in Illustrator to some of our collab battles, but today we're working completely in Express. If you missed the first part, Izzy literally hopped into elements, design elements, and then we searched for gradients and then added in some layered textures here. As Izzy, you mentioned, this is a very popular aesthetic right now. You're seeing it on Instagram and TikTok, this idea of combining textures. I would also go so far as to say it's like the texture is almost playing a more prominent role than the elements on top in many designs that I'm spotting. And I
Absolutely.
like it.
It's allowing for the text to really pop, because as you can see, let me like zoom in here, but as you can see, I mean, there, because of the texture, it's creating some depth with, well, in the background, but then the font at the top, first of all, this is a very thick font, but also it is so crisp. So that contrast just allows us for us to read the content better. And this is what makes a good poster or a good design as well.
Friends, if I could
Okay.
plant a seed in the chat, and actually Jeff says has a good question. Let me answer that first. Is this poster going to be print ready? If so, curious, does Express have a plugin for a print on demand service? That is a very good question. I actually don't know the official answer on that. I would have to go over to plugins, or rather add-ons, and see if there's something for printing. I believe there's two called Print Ready, Jeff, and one called Print Your Own Labels. In this case, Print Ready might be useful for you. It allows you to export a PDF with Bleed. Now we have Bleed directly in Express, but I don't know that we have print on demand yet. I have a feeling it's been considered. You didn't hear that from me officially. I don't work for Adobe. I just work with Adobe, but I have a feeling it's been considered, and let's see if that's something that gets launched. I think that would be really quite an interesting feature in Express, wouldn't it, Izzy? The ability to actually print on demand.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this would mean a lot of cool features for my clients, and it would just ease up my workload like crazy.
Lisa says, so when clients say make it pop, I'm going for textures. 100%, Lisa, 100%. That's what that means. That dreaded question, or not question, I guess, that the feedback we get from clients, make it pop. Oh God, if I've heard that once, I've heard it 100 times. Now we have a tangible solution for that when we hear it.
There you go.
You know what I was going to say, and then I started answering questions in the chat, was, Izzy, it would be fun if in this hour we can also showcase text to image powered by Adobe Firefly,
Yes.
which in the recent slew of updates in Express has gotten an update in itself. Text to image is the latest version that was previously accessible on browser, only is now accessible directly in Adobe Express. You don't have to leave the platform. You get really high quality results. So maybe we play around text to image before we wrap and chat.
Actually,
I'm just mentioning that. I'm just mentioning it because we're going to lean on you. Do you want to? Do you want to try it, Izzy?
I say we should flip back to your screen, and we should add some water at the bottom, and then I'm going to add the text as you're doing that. How's that?
That sounds good. Chat, I'm going to lean on you for some design ideas. So Andrew will flip back to my screen. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to open here where we're going to find text to image. And that now you're used to clicking over to media. And now you'll actually select photos, and then text to image is right under that upload from device button right there. Obviously, you can also access text to image from the dashboard, self-explanatory, but just pointing that out because it's organized a little differently than it was before. Now under the photos tab here, what size should we go with for this design? You're wanting water, Izzy, so I'm thinking maybe like a landscape or a widescreen.
Yes, landscape.
How much space? Let's do landscape, great. Okay, friends, let's come up with a prompt. Might I remind you that when you're coming up with a prompt for text to image, that it doesn't need to be perfect. I can't remember whose stream this was, but it was a great stream last week on Adobe Live, and they talked about actually just starting with a general prompt to start. So like, it could be vibrant water. Okay, don't put a ton of pressure on yourself to have the perfect, descriptive, amazing, detailed prompt when you start. You can if you have something in mind, but it's not normally necessary. So much of this is just starting and seeing where you go. I'll never forget my Adobe Live with Tomasz. He works at Adobe. He was my guest in studio. Let me make this bigger so you'll be able to see it when we actually generate it. And I swear I'm just going to put this into place and then we'll modify it here. That's kind of interesting. It's like a little watercolor style. So friends, you can see on my screen that we have multiple results. These are really beautiful.
Oh, I like this one.
I knew you would. That's why I selected it. Remember too, that if you've got a particular style in mind, not going to demo this today, maybe we will in our next collab battle, but style reference, this is going to give you the ability to generate a style using Firefly integrated in Express. It could be a sketch, it could be a picture of art, something you capture, like Izzy talked about earlier today. You know, seen something on the street or having a design in mind, maybe something you worked on or created before, or if it's a branding project, this could be something that would inspire, create those parameters to stay on brand, as well as composition. Friends, don't overthink this one. This one could literally be a sketch. It could be a stick man. That's about all I'm capable of drawing. You can upload that to composition. Try it. It is so much fun. Izzy, I went with graphic in this case, but do you want me to try art or any other styles that you think would match?
Hyper realistic of water, and then we can cut the background so we get that wave like.
Love it. So in this case, we would do a photo then, I think, would be probably our closest for hyper realistic. Let me also point out while I'm on this, I feel like sometimes we get so focused on the prompt and we don't necessarily pay enough attention to these amazing predefined styles for text to image. So let me just take a second to show you this so that you know that they're here. Layered paper is my personal favorite. Chaotic. Oh, honey, some days. That's the category for me. So many in here. Digital art might be a neat one for what we're creating today. Movement, steampunk is a really neat one.
Oh,
there are so pop art also could be kind of fun with what we're creating today. I'm literally just going to click that for fun. I'm going to click that for fun just to see what we get. I have noticed, by the way, that even with simpler prompts, now with the latest version of text to image, you get such incredible results. Such incredible results. Okay, so that's photo with pop art. I'm going to try it. Let me just try one more. No, I'm probably going to try more than one more. Saying I'm going to try one more was definitely a lie, Izzy. It's definitely a lie.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm generating one in the style of art. But I think we're going to go with hyper realistic, which is what you told me to do. So I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to clear the style setting and I'm going to leave it on popular. And I'm going to click generate one more time. And text to image is just one of those instances that I'm really excited about in terms of AI and creativity. People are worried, oh my gosh, AI is going to take my job. Honey, we need you in your job as a creative. We need you. And AI becomes a tool in your toolkit. And by using Firefly and text to image by Firefly, you can use these tools in your toolkit and you can feel good about it. These are images and creations that you can use as part of your design. Should I say vibrant pool water here, Izzy?
Close
I think
up,
that we're
maybe.
I'm a little nervous about you swimming in that current right there.
Yeah, me too. That doesn't sound like a party to me.
No, that's chaotic. If we're going to stick with that word, that's the kind of chaos I'm not looking for today. I need you to be fully safe in this pool, Izzy. Fully safe. Safety is my priority.
Yes, me too.
Oh, we're making progress here. Again, friends, we didn't just go with the very first result we got. This is an iteration. I added some words to our prompt here. So vibrant pool water close up. Izzy, any other thoughts? What would align with what you're hoping to achieve here? Let me show you a few options.
Oh, this is nice. Because what I would like is some waves, right?
Okay.
Like, you know, those shots that you see half like underwater and half over the water. So then we can remove that background. I don't know, what could it be? Isolated, calm waters. I'm literally brainstorming for this. Maybe I'm asking for the impossible here.
I don't think so. There is no wrong prompt. I like that wiggly one.
Oh yeah, that was good.
So I'm just showing you a few more here. Some of these are not right, and that's okay. We want
hold on, go back.
Yeah.
This one.
Because you could crop out that top.
Yes. Because that's what I'd like. I want to have a nice transition. There you go. Like, just
Now
to
we're cooking with oil, honey.
exactly. Love it.
I love it. I'm
Perfect.
going back to the chat here. I got a little distracted. You know, when I go quiet like that for a few seconds, there's something. There's
There's
something
something
up.
that's happening. Yes.
Frank says, always waves and splashes in a pool party. Yes.
Oh,
Lisa says, party
splash.
swimming pool. That sounds like the kind of swimming pool I want to be in. Maybe
Yes.
vibrant swimming pool. Yeah, these are all great prompt ideas. Bruno's here. Jeff says, I focus on post work. I love Firefly for idea generations and getting assets that are not just stock. I love Firefly. Jeff, I am so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that, right? I mean, there's all kinds of sentiment about AI right now. It's a
Hmm.
particular interest to me. Um, but I am really excited by instances of people leaning into this tool to help them be even more creative. Ideating is a great example. Don't you feel, Izzy and Jeff and the rest of our chat, don't you guys feel like you get to spend more time creating and just like in the ideas of projects versus like, oh gosh, I have to quickly source something and then quickly finish a design and then spend hours editing out flyaway hairs? I feel like AI helps us do these
Hmm.
things and we get to focus on the fun stuff, which is actually coming up with the ideas and the actual creation part. I'm a
Absolutely.
big fan.
Actually, true story. So, for the month of June, and there's another one very soon after this stream. For the creative challenge, I actually went to AI to find some inspiration in order to even create the content for like the shows itself. And I liked the idea so much that I created a whole project for my personal project around it. And I
Love it.
actually sent it to print this morning. So it's super fun. And I not only used AI to come up with the ideas, but I also used a lot of Adobe Firefly to create my images because I wanted to have a vintage vibe. But I was talking about very honest and personal stuff that I'm going through right now. And finding those vintage images was actually extremely complicated. So I would source image. Sometimes I would draw a sketch, bring it into Firefly, and then create like an array of images for me to use in order to create a newspaper zine, which is so cool.
I
And
love
I
it.
can't wait to see how it's going to look like in print.
That's so you just sent that today. That's going to be so we're going to have
Yes,
to use that content for one of our upcoming episodes. We're, by the
I
way,
would love that.
we are back on your screen.
Perfect.
Andrew's doing a beautiful job today, helping us out, switching between. It's always a little technical because we go from your screen to my screen. We're
Sorry,
supposed to be
yes.
battling, but again, we're very soft today. We're being very friendly and collaborative.
Very soft. So here I have some kind of keywords just to, make it fun and because again, people read not necessarily from top to bottom. They will read in whatever makes sense to them based on their personal experience, what they like, and so on. So yes, it's really important to have good hierarchy, but then the second type of information will depend. So you want to make that fun. So here I have live music, barbecue, delicious barbecue, craft cocktails. Phil, you're already like good for that one as for
Correct.
what you mentioned.
Now you know I'm officially attending your backyard pool party. I
There
am
you go.
officially interested.
Lawn games. So, and I would like to just add like a quick design to this. So first of all, I'm going to change the color on this. And again, I'm not using a massive color palette here, and I want to make sure that I'm always using that same yellowish orange, or what could that be? Tangerine, if you want, like as a color.
Yeah. Like a
But
yeah.
yeah. So I'm using the color picker here. So if you highlight your word, fill, and then that eyedropper, again, making sure that everything is the proper color. Izzy likes consistency. That means business because I just talked about myself in the third person. That it's very serious.
That's okay. That's okay. We're the first show of the day today, I'm pretty sure. So we're just getting, we're
Yes,
getting warmed up. We're getting warmed up.
exactly.
By the way, there's some great shows on the roster for today. So you guys have a full, hopefully you're planning to hang out with us for a whole bunch of today because there's some good stuff. Izzy, you brought up something really important a second ago. We glazed over it, but I want to come back to it if you'll indulge
Mhm.
me. You talked about the way that you're adjusting the layout to keep it interesting for people to consume, and people don't read it top to bottom, particularly a poster. This reminds me of a really great add-on that I think our chat, our replay viewers will find interesting, and it's under add-ons, and it's called Attention Insight. While you were chatting, Izzy, I already went ahead and processed this, so I don't know if we want to switch to my screen briefly, Andrew, if you're up for it. We'll switch over to my screen just while Izzy's finalizing these last few design components. And I can show you, there you can see it, Attention Insights. It takes about a minute to process. Here it is. So when you click over to add-ons over here on the left, you can find there's a whole bunch of them here now, by the way. There's just, I open this every day and there's brand new ones. One of the first ones that I started to use regularly was this one, Attention Insights. It takes about a minute to process your design. But Izzy, you just talked about this, like where you want to draw people's attention. And this is something that becomes really, really useful as you're considering your design. Potentially, as you're designing something for a client, you want to explain to them, hey, here's why we made these design choices. You're actually able to download the heat map. You can also try a focus map or a contrast map. There's different styles here, whatever is useful for you. I tend to use heat map the most, particularly for something like a poster, which we're designing today. Poster is an actual category in Attention Insights. And so I wanted to just call that out today. Is we can hop back over to your screen as this beautiful design is coming together.
Coming together. So here, I just wanted to make this just like by having this shape, which I have found within the elements, and I went to search all shapes and I just scrolled down to find this. I actually don't even know how this is called. It's not a rectangle and it's not a circle. So it's a rectangle with rounded edges.
A rounded
corners.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
a name. I don't know what that name is, though. I should probably know that since I use them all the time for buttons. I just call it a
should
button.
know them too. Yeah, I guess, yeah, a button shape. There you go. And here I am just grouping them so I can like easily move them around. And I feel like they can be just all over the place, not necessarily organized in order, because after all, it is a party.
It is a party. It is a party. This poster is major party vibes. I love that you went with this yellow, by the way. It's kind of like a mustard almost, or a little bit brighter than that, but I'm into it.
Me too. I wanted to have, because like at first I started with the dark blue and I felt that if everything was blue, I mean, yes, it's watercolors, but blue also has the emotion of sadness. Yes, I just went to see Inside Out 2 in the cinemas not too long ago. So I told myself, let's go with a more contrast color. And then I picked like an yellowy orange. Here, let's put this. And I feel like this should come up too. Actually, maybe we bring this the bottom here. What I love about, I'm actually going to remove this. We don't need it. Express is all the like the alignment, like the rulers, they just appear in front of you. And
they do.
I am a stickler for good at alignment.
Me too.
And this is helping a lot. I feel like
Me
this one
too. I use the centered one all the time just to make sure. Jeff has a good question, Izzy. I think you're going to be best to answer this. Should there be a stroke or a drop shadow on the text? Just curious.
So this is a style design choice. I personally hate
drop shadows. I knew that. I knew you were going to say that.
Yes.
I was ready to just see your dramatic response. That's why I teed you up for it, because I've never, ever seen you use a drop shadow. You have used an outline or a
Yes.
stroke rather.
Yes.
You will sometimes use a stroke, but if you use a drop shadow, you will have a stroke. That's the
I,
problem. That's why we avoid them.
I use drop shadows whenever I have 3D elements, because then I find that drop shadow actually helps to create that 3D-ness. That's
Hmm.
not a word, but like that 3D effect, because yes, it's 3D shapes, but we are still looking at it in a 2D format. So that shadow adds depth and just like creates that effect through our eyes. But whenever it's flat, I personally don't like to use a shadow, a drop shadow, specifically for text. Funny story, or not funny, but it is in my brand style guide that I give my clients. I have a do not do this page, and it's all of the bad design examples. And sorry, but again, the drop shadow is on that page and it's in
Hmm.
massive red. Do not do this.
Keys makes a good point here. I think Jeff is concerned about the contrast on that. So am I.
Yes, so maybe we just adjust the colors. So again, if we're happy with the composition, this is something that I would do and adjust after. I'm actually curious to see if we can also use those waves as a texture in the back. So let me see what I can do. I'm just gonna actually, I'm gonna remove this one. Let's see. I
I
just want
love
to
that you're
see.
just layering on these different
Why
textured
not?
elements. It's very cool.
Why not? Under the texture right here, and then we're going to bring down the opacity again. I mean, I personally really like this. Then maybe we just bring this up so we have better contrast, or we don't have like a conflict of visibility. So maybe the buttons here, it's not a good idea to have them orange. Maybe we have them black. Maybe I won't
Hmm.
have the time to change them all. Oops.
No, but just we could do a few
Just to give like
just
the
to
idea.
yeah, show the direction of this. The black looks really
Okay.
sharp. I also love the navy blue that you did earlier. I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
any of
let's
those
do that.
colors could do wonders.
You're
Jeff says,
absolutely
yes,
right.
that's where I was going with it, Keys. Yeah, absolutely.
There you
This is
go.
what I love. We're collab battling with the chat. You guys are a part of this design process as well.
And
Um,
speaking of alignment, there's also the align tool that I personally use often here. So I center it and then middle, just to make sure that my button is good before oops, I did not lock that layer.
yes, locking it will make it so much easier to work around it. Looking good, looking good. I had temporarily pasted some text over top of there. I was thinking that
Perfect.
maybe the good vibes only could be a text effect. We won't actually demo that today, but if you guys don't forget about the amazing text effects for something that's like fun and lighthearted like this, I kind of like that style. However, we do have a lot going on in this poster, so I might not combine it on this one, but
We
maybe
do have a lot going on.
let's say we're gonna make invitations or we're gonna do something else. You could have some fun with that. This is
So you
looking
know
really
what?
good.
I actually grouped the background image ungroup by accident. And then I brought it up. Let me just bring it back. And again, that was so easy for me to find with the layers panel on the side. Easier to find than
We
Illustrator or
love
Photoshop.
layers.
Yes,
Yes, we love layers, and
absolutely.
Express are very easy to navigate.
Absolutely. Okay, let me do this. I really want this. I really want to finish it so we can have a look. The final product at the end.
I think we're getting very close to it. Friends, if you're joining us, you didn't catch the beginning of our stream, we are designing a poster. We're also very excited that now in Express we have margin and we have bleed. Those are both turned on right now. Izzy, we're sharing Izzy's screen. She's got those turned on. So you're selecting that margins button right beside background up at the top. And that's just a simple toggle on or off if it's something you need. For a poster, to Jeff's point earlier in the chat, for a poster, this is something we would likely want to be getting printed. In that case, by adding on some, a bleed and a margin for this, it's going to help us communicate to the printer exactly what it is we're looking for when it goes to print. And so now, very excitingly, that is an option that we have directly in Adobe Express.
This is amazing. I think we will be able to see the final poster. There you go.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed, and I'm excited about this pool party. I will fly all the way to Ottawa, not necessarily today because I'm in Budapest, but soon, Izzy, July 15th, honey, I'll be there. Yep, I'll be there for this. I'll be there in my bikini for this amazing backyard pool party. We have just a few more minutes, and Izzy, because she's a perfectionist, I know for a fact she wants to finish this design so that we can all celebrate what we're able to do in about an hour. It's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. Okay, now to me, this has good balance and composition. When we added the good vibes in blue, we have good repetition with the icons, which again, can't believe that we started with that as a logo in the logo maker. We talked about having some fun with italic and just regular and how it changes the vibe. Let me make that a little bigger, actually, because I find that it's fun.
He says, "Oh, no Langos keys. I'm gonna make sure that goes on my Instagram story. I don't think Izzy's gonna let me put that on her poster, but I will promise you the next time I'm back here, I will have experienced Langos for myself. That's my promise to you, friend. That's my promise."
And actually, I will be adding this poster that we have made together on the remixable template right after this live. So you won't get one poster, but you'll get two, both of them backyard party. So hopefully this will be your call to action to invite your neighbors and have a nice barbecue and, create that community for yourself.
This poster looks amazing. I think it's pretty much done, isn't it, Izzy?
It is.
I wonder if because we're in a slides template, I think for the fun of it, what if you push present up in the top right and we can just stare at this poster in its beauty when it is finally done. Let's see when it is finally done.
Present.
Yep.
Current page.
Voila. Look at this beauty, friends. And we couldn't have made it without you, chat and replay viewer. Izzy, you did an amazing job. You definitely carried us forward on the design front today. I chimed in with a few things as we went along, but we have you to thank for this exceptional design. I am most impressed by how you stacked textures today. Not just textures found in elements, design elements, gradients and such, but also you created. Well, no, actually, I created.
No, you did.
Yeah, I'll take credit for that one.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, text to image. We had some fun with your help to start with a simple prompt and modify it and just be creative. This is an example. Key says, looks great. Andres is here. Hey, Andres. This is just an example of how you can lean into some of these amazing AI features in Express. And Izzy, I think this looks amazing. I think we had fun. And that's it, basically. We've got about 1 minute left to basically say, thanks for helping us today. And thank you for being a part of this. This has been really fun. Hopefully you have pool parties that are actually on your schedule for this summer. Speaking of schedule, we have more Collabattle episodes coming up.
Yes.
We'll confirm those dates shortly. So make sure you stay tuned. More importantly, have a great day and make sure you stick around today. We've got Paul. We've got some amazing content lined up for you today. So you are in the right place. Thank you for starting your day with us. And we'll see you back here sometime soon on Collabattle. And thank you, Izzy, for being a superstar today and every day.
Thank you, Phil, for being who you are.
Oh, you're sweet. I'm going to enjoy my vacation. You gave me permission. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.